How long should you fast for? What's the best fasting regimen?
Dr. Jason Fung is a Canadian physician and fasting expert, best known for his books, The Obesity Code and The Diabetes Code. He's helped thousands of people lose weight and reverse type 2 diabetes by focusing on insulin control instead of just counting calories. First, let's talk about why fasting length even matters. Fasting isn't just about eating less, it's about giving your body enough time to lower insulin levels. According to Dr. Jason Fung, insulin is the hormone that controls fat storage, and elevated insulin makes it nearly impossible for your body to burn fat. The longer you fast up to a point, the more insulin drops, and the more your body moves into fat-burning mode. Dr. Fung often explains it this way: short fasts are meant to be done more frequently, while longer fasts pack a stronger punch. Here are the main fasting approaches you can choose from. Let's start with the simplest and most beginner-friendly option: the 12/12 overnight fast.
So what are the different fasting regimens? The standard regimen, but we don't often think of it that way, is 3 meals a day: breakfast, lunch, and dinner, with no snacks in between. And this is what we took mostly in the 1960s and 1970s. Up until then, snacks were very frowned upon, and because it was not easy to keep a lot of food in the house and so on, mostly we didn't eat in between meals and we didn't eat after dinner. So if you were hungry after dinner, your mom would usually say, oh, you should have ate more at dinner because there's nothing to eat until breakfast time. And that's where the term came from. The fasting period was from dinner one night. So if you had dinner at 7 p.m., for example, and didn't have breakfast until 7 a.m., that's a 12-hour fasting period that people had every day without thinking about it. If you ate breakfast a little later, perhaps 8 or 9 a.m., you'd have somewhere around a 14-hour period of fasting. And that provided a pretty good balance and kept people, for the most part, from getting obese, as you can see, because it's quite rare in the 60s and 70s.
If a 16-hour fast feels overwhelming, this is the perfect place to begin. With a 12/12 fast, you simply stop eating after dinner and wait until breakfast the next morning to have your next meal. The beauty of this method is that most of your fasting hours happen while you're asleep, so it hardly feels like fasting at all. Health outlets like Verywell describe the 12/12 fast as a gentle, low-stress introduction to intermittent fasting, and that's exactly why it works so well for beginners. You're training your body to go longer without constant snacking, while still keeping things comfortable and manageable. Over time, this routine helps stabilize your blood sugar, reduces nighttime eating habits, and begins lowering insulin levels just enough to nudge your metabolism in the right direction. Think of the 12/12 method as laying the foundation. It's not about big metabolic shifts, yet it's about building consistency. Once your body gets used to this natural rhythm, moving up to longer fasting windows like 14 or 16 hours becomes surprisingly easy. It's a simple first step that sets you up for long-term success.
The feeding period was 10 to 12 hours. And during that period of time, we're trying to store food energy, store body fat. And that's balanced almost every day with 12 to 14 hours of fasting. That's where the English term breakfast comes from. It's the meal that breaks your fast. So the baseline fasting period should really be about 12 to 14 hours.
Number 2. 16/8 time-restricted eating. Now let's move on to the most popular intermittent fasting style out there, the 16/8 method, also known as time-restricted eating. This is the classic fasting window that a lot of beginners gravitate toward because it's simple, flexible, and surprisingly easy to maintain once you find a rhythm that works for your lifestyle.
Now, if we're trying to lose weight, specifically lose body fat, we can simply extend that fasting period. So instead of 12 to 14 hours of fasting, we can go up to, for example, 16 hours of fasting. And this is a very popular regimen. It's often called 16/8, which denotes 16 hours of fasting in an 8-hour feeding window. So, for example, if you ate breakfast at 11 a.m. and ate until 7 p.m., well, that's an 8-hour period of time during which you can eat your meals. And outside of that, the other 16 hours, you're going to fast. So that's a 16/8. Sometimes this is also referred to as time-restricted eating. because you're restricting your feeding to a certain window of time.
The concept is straightforward. You fast for 16 hours and then enjoy all your meals within an 8-hour eating window. Very well, Health points out that this method has become extremely popular because it fits naturally into many people's routines. For example, you might stop eating at 7 p.m. and then fast until 11 a.m. the next day. That gives you an eating window from 11 a.m. to 7 p.m. And during the fasting hours, you can sip on water, herbal tea, or black coffee to stay hydrated and comfortable. This approach works especially well for anyone who already tends to skip breakfast or wants to cut down on nighttime snacking. It gently nudges your insulin levels lower, helps curb cravings, and can support gradual, sustainable weight loss. But it's also important to remember that fasting isn't one size fits all. Shorter fasts, like 12 or 14 hours, can be effective too. So as always, listen to your body. Start with something doable, stay consistent, and adjust the fasting window in a way that supports your energy, mood, and long-term health. Number 3. One meal a day. OMA.
We can take this idea even further, and we can go down to a single meal a day, for example. So instead of fasting for 16 hours, we would extend that and only have one meal, perhaps dinner, for example. So if you go from dinner one day until dinner the next day, it's about a 23 to 24 hour period of fasting. You're still eating every day in a 24-hour fast, and because of this, some people refer to this as one meal a day, also sometimes called OMAD or OMAD. And this is a very successful strategy for some people and also a very popular strategy.
Now let's talk about one of the most intense forms of intermittent fasting, OMAD, which stands for one meal a day. This approach takes time-restricted eating to the extreme. You fast for a full 23 hours and then eat your entire day's calories in just a 1-hour window. Some people stretch that eating window to 2 hours, but the core idea stays the same. One daily meal, one daily opportunity to fuel your body. According to Verywell Health, OMAD is usually used as a tool for rapid weight loss or for breaking through stubborn weight loss plateaus. It's designed for people who already tolerate longer fasts well and who feel comfortable going most of the day without food. With insulin levels dropping for such a long period, OMAD can trigger deep fat burning and help reset appetite patterns. And this is important. It's definitely not a method for beginners. OMAD can be physically and mentally demanding, and it's not recommended for anyone with medical conditions, a history of disordered eating, or for those who struggle with low blood sugar. Another challenge is nutrient intake. Fitting all your protein, vitamins, minerals, and healthy fats into a single meal can be tough. That's why it's essential to talk to a healthcare professional before trying OMAD, especially if you're considering doing it regularly. Think of OMAD as a specialized tool, not a default lifestyle. It can be powerful, but it requires planning, awareness, and a body that's already adapted to longer fasting windows. Number 4. The 5-to-2 diet.
Another variation on time-restricted eating, or OMAD, is what's called the 5-to-2 diet. And this was popularized by Dr. Michael Mosley. And the idea is that for 5 days, you would eat normally. And for 2 days, you would limit the number of calories that you eat to 500. Strictly speaking, it's not fasting because you're still taking 500 calories in that day. But during that day, that 500 calories represents much less than most people take, so it could be thought of as a fasting day. Those calories can be taken all at once, or it could be broken into 3 meals. It doesn't specify.
Now, let's take a closer look at the 5-to-2 diet, one of the more flexible and beginner-friendly intermittent fasting approaches. The idea is simple. You eat normally for 5 days of the week, and on the other 2 days, you reduce your calorie intake to around 500-600 calories. These low-calorie days are not full fasts, but they're low enough to trigger some of the same metabolic benefits like lowering insulin levels, supporting fat burning, and improving appetite control. It's really important that these fasting days are not back-to-back. Cleveland Clinic recommends spacing them out, for example, fasting on Monday and Thursday, and splitting the calories into 2 small meals. You might do something like a 200-calorie meal earlier in the day, and a 300-calorie meal later on to keep your energy steady. The 5-2 diet works well for people who want results without committing to daily fasting windows. It introduces just enough of a metabolic shakeup to help with weight loss and insulin sensitivity, but it's still manageable for most lifestyles. However, the reduced calories can feel draining for some, so it's important to listen to your body and avoid pushing too hard. Overall, the 5-2 diet offers a balanced, middle ground structured fasting benefits without the intensity of alternate day fasting or long fasting windows.
Even taking small amounts of calories, it doesn't negate all the benefits of fasting because insulin is still going to fall. You're still going to be dipping into your stores of body fat in order to provide the energy that you need. So 5-2 is another dietary strategy that some people have found very successful.
Number 5. Extended fasting. Extended fasting, usually defined as going without food for 48 hours or longer, is one of the most powerful metabolic resets you can give your body. When you stop eating for this length of time, your body begins shifting from using glucose for energy to burning stored fat. This process, called ketosis, ramps up significantly after the 24-36-hour mark, allowing your body to tap into deep fat reserves that are usually untouched during regular intermittent fasting.
Once we go past the 24 hours of fasting, it gets into a group of fasts that I call extended fasting because now you're going past a full day of fasting. So you're no longer eating every day. If you go to 36 hours of fasting, for example, if on Monday you eat dinner at 7 p.m., for example, and on Tuesday you don't eat at all and don't eat until Wednesday at 7 a.m., you've got a 36-hour period of fasting. And on that Tuesday, you wouldn't have eaten at all. This is a very powerful strategy because it increases the period of time that your body relies on body fat. By skipping that one meal that you get with the 24-hour strategy, you're able to link that directly to your sleeping period where you get almost 8 hours of fasting almost for free because you're not even aware of that. So you have 2 sleeping periods which make up a lot of time of fasting and keeping your body in that fat burning state because your body has nothing else to rely on. And you can take this idea even further. So you don't have to limit yourself to 36 hours. You can go to 42 hours or you can go to multiple day fasts.
One of the biggest benefits of extended fasting is autophagy, your body's natural cleanup system. After around 48 hours, your cells begin breaking down old, damaged, or dysfunctional components and recycling them for energy. Think of it as a complete internal detox at the cellular level. Many experts, including metabolic researchers, believe this process may help reduce inflammation, improve immunity, enhance longevity, and support disease prevention. Extended fasting also triggers a powerful hormonal shift. Insulin levels drop sharply, which is great for fat burning and metabolic health. At the same time, human growth hormone, HGH, increases, helping with tissue repair and maintaining lean muscle. Many people also experience mental clarity and improved focus as ketones become the brain's primary fuel source.
Keep in mind that the longer fast you do, the more powerful it is. However, there's also the potential that you're not going to feel well or you're going to run into other troubles if you are taking medications, for example. So it's a double-edged sword, and make sure especially if you're on medication, that you do check with your doctor beforehand. But there's really no upper limit to the number of days you can fast. In the 60s, it is very popular to do 30 days, 60 days. The world record is more than 380 days of fasting. So you could actually keep going. Some people actually like the extended fast because after day 2, the hunger actually starts to dissipate. People get used to feeling in that state and find it pretty normal. And so they're able to lose a lot of weight in a short period of time.
For that reason, extended fasts should only be done under medical supervision. They're not suitable for beginners, and they're not necessary for most people. Dr. Jason Fung emphasizes that you should work up to extended fasting gradually. Start with shorter fasts, build metabolic flexibility, and only consider longer fasts if your body responds well and you're no longer seeing results from moderate fasting windows. Extended fasting is a tool, not a requirement. It can be powerful, but it also comes with responsibilities, precautions, and a need for proper guidance. If you ever choose to attempt a 48-hour fast or longer, make sure you're doing it safely, with medical support, and for the right reasons, not just because it sounds impressive. Health always comes first. So that's the breakdown of fasting lengths, according to insights from Dr. Jason Fung. Let me know in the comments. What fasting length has worked best for you? If you enjoyed this video, hit like, subscribe, and turn on notifications so you never miss another fasting breakdown. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.